I think the Ebor Festival at York is probably one of the most exciting times for a flat trainer. York really has a unique atmosphere. It's a wonderful racecourse, great facilities for both the owners, the horses and the staff, and fantastic prize money. And having any winner at the Ebor meeting gives you a great sense of satisfaction, but we enjoyed a particularly fruitful one this time round.
Cool Hoof Luke, symbol of strength. Cool Hoof Luke from Shadow of Light. Cool Hoof Luke wins the Gimcrack. See the Fire is the final challenger, and See the Fire powers through to win the Skybench Strength.
We're very lucky this year that we've had a strong domestic season. I think we've had 125 winners so far, which I think is the most number of winners of the yards in England. And we've enjoyed some really good international success this year, not least with Bellum Justin winning the Nashville Derby at Kentucky Downs, which is a hugely valuable prize. Great for King Power, who own him and have been big supporters of the yard. The great thing about flat racing and having good horses is that ability to travel internationally. And it's something we're very proud of, our successes abroad as well as our domestic successes. Well, I'm very fortunate to train at Park House because the facilities have been here designed to be home to racehorses for 150 years now, and actually the gallops on the Downs have been used for racehorses even before that. So it's got a rich history, and some fantastic horses have been trained here in the past. I mean, some of the greatest names in turf history, particularly in the Victorian time, and more recently, obviously, Mill Reef was trained here and raced from here. So the bar's set quite high, so it's always a bit of a challenge to try and get the level of success that the yard deserves. But everything's in place here I think, to give horses every opportunity to develop into top-class racehorses if they have the ability. We're spoilt with the number of gallops we have and the access to more modern facilities as well, such as the swimming pool and treadmills and things like that. So we're constantly trying to update it, but at the same time very conscious of its rich history. We have a large team at Park House now with 250 horses in training, fairly much regular training through the year. It's very labour intensive, obviously, and I think we have 100 full-time staff now. Virtually everyone lives on site, so it's like a little village, and I'm so lucky to have not just the support of Annalisa and my mother, who are partners in the business, but also my main management team are first class, and makes my life a lot easier. We've got a very widespread group of owners at Kingsclear, and had winners from owners from 12 different countries this year, and probably there's a couple more hopefully to add to that by the end of the year. We train in stunning countryside, and it's got a very different atmosphere to a busy racetrack where you're trying to train on with 100 other trainers. So that's I think a big plus, and as a result I find our owners like to come out and enjoy the countryside, and if owners come to see their horses, we like to offer them the chance to wander around the yard and see their horses up close and personal, as well as them exercising, doing faster work on the gallops, and to meet some of the team. I think that's important as well for the owners to have the opportunity to know who's looking after their horse and who's riding them in the mornings, and I think that's an important part of building a team around each horse. I think that's something that's underrated in horse racing, is probably the biggest and best team sport of the lot. A horse turns up at the races, there's been someone who's, a farrier who's put his shoes on, someone fed him or her at 5 o'clock in the morning, someone's been riding that horse all through the winter months in the dark and the wet, grooming them every night, and these tend to be different people. And before they've even come into training, there was somebody there who'd be watching the race, cheering them on because they foaled them or fed them as a foal or as a yearling. So it is a great team sport, and the owners, they're the captain of the team, as it were. So I think for them to have the opportunity to meet the other people involved with their horses is very important. I think there are a range of very able trainers in England who have developed wonderful facilities, and we're just lucky to be one of those, I would say. And I do think, though, that having raced all over the world on big occasions, I think what we have here is a range of wonderful venues. These racecourses have been racecourses for centuries, and there's always that sense of history and nostalgia to a point when you attend these race meetings, to think that this has been happening for so long and everyone's been essentially striving for that same goal for so many years. And I think that is a great part of the history and heritage of British racing and the standard required to be successful here. I think it still is one of the most competitive racing nations in the world, and it has great appeal to people who love horse racing.